Say, man, you got a joint?
No, not on me, man.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Welcome back, fans, to another episode of your favorite podcast on the internet. It's number one everywhere, number one highest rated. We've shown a lot of growth. What do you got to say about that, AJ?
We got 100% of Rotten Tomatoes.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes, just like Fortnite.
Just like Fortnite. All right, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about the greatest movie of all time, Dazed and Confused. What do you think about that, AJ? We just saw it recently.
Dude, it's the best like high school movie of all time.
Yeah, where they're all like in their mid to late 20s and they drive around a lot.
It's like Netflix.
Just like in regular high school, they just drive around.
It's like the Netflix TV show. This is just your average group of high schoolers, and they're all like 30-year-old bodybuilders.
Yeah, they're all in their 30s and they're super muscular, and all the women are supermodels, and they're like, yeah, this is what high school's like, guys.
Yeah, this is your typical teenager.
Yeah, it's just your average teenager.
They don't want to deal with minors on set. They're like, let's get some 20-year-old to play it.
That's true. Yeah, well, also they want like experienced actors, which you really don't need because nothing happens in the movie.
Dude, I love how like child actors are it's basically just a form of child labor.
It is so cool,
especially on like the old
I love like the
old
6-year-olds like Home
Nickelodeon
Alone.
shows.
Oh God. We can't go down the Nick. We can't. We're only 2 minutes in. That is way worse than me swearing is going down the Nickelodeon hole.
You don't want to go down the Nickelodeon rabbit hole.
No, I don't. Not today. Let's go to Cartoon Network instead. You ever seen Uncle Grandpa?
Dude, that show's so good.
It's one of the worst cartoons I've ever watched.
Bro, dude, Pizza Steve, he's my man.
That's because you just looked him up.
No, I watched. I mean, I wasn't like an avid watcher of the show, but I saw a couple episodes back when I was like 12.
My man is a straight up Uncle Grandpa addict. He can't get enough of it.
I watch it every day.
Every day, Uncle Grandpa. It's the best show.
Yeah, it really is. All right, so what are we actually talking about today?
I don't know. We're just talking.
We're
just talking.
Should we do Dazed and Confused or Tales of the Jedi? What do you got more of an opinion on?
I don't care. Neither one really. I don't really have a strong opinion.
Let's just do both then.
Yeah. So what? Do you want to give like a rundown of Dazed and Confused?
Sure.
Spoiler warning for a 50-year-old movie.
Yeah, it's
no, it's 30, isn't it?
It's not 50 years old. It's not from the
30-year-old
70s.
movie.
It's a 90s. It's a 90s.
It's a
90s
30-year-old.
comedy.
It's a 30-year-old movie.
It's a 90s comedy about the 70s.
That's true. Kind of like that 70s show. You ever seen that 70s show?
I've seen a couple episodes.
Oh, it's too bad it's on Netflix. That's one of my favorites.
What's what they did? They have basically all of the they had like Friends and The Office and all these like older like sitcoms, and they just got shipped off to a different streaming service.
Yeah, that 70s show is definitely the best one though. That was the best sitcom.
It was alright. I mean, I've only seen like 2 episodes.
I've seen the whole thing twice. I loved it. I love it even more than Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It can't be as good as Matthew McConaughey in this movie though.
Matthew McConaughey is definitely the shining star of this movie. Him or what's his name, Mike? Is he the guy that gets beat up?
Yeah, I think so.
It's got to be one of them because they got the best scenes in the movie.
I like how like if you look at all the promotional content for this film, you just look it up. Matthew McConaughey is on the front poster. He's on everything. He's like the main character. But in the film, he is like shows up only 2/3 into the film and is in like 10 scenes total.
Yeah, he's basically a cameo.
He's like a little side character at the end of the film.
Yeah, he's just the adult. He's every teenager's adult friend that's like super inappropriate that like you should not have.
Yeah, they're really well. For those who don't know, the really famous line in the movie is how he talks about how he really likes high school girls because he keeps getting older, but they stay the same age, and it's like they really just made Matthew McConaughey a pedophile in this film.
And then he follows it up with how's this year freshman crop looking?
It is like
it's a pretty good movie, I'd say.
It's just funny to think that if that film came out today, it was just like
that film would not come out today.
It would not come out today.
It wouldn't get made. I mean, well, 1992 is a different time. You know.
I mean, I kind of hate that saying where people be like, "Oh, like this film wouldn't be accepted today." It's like
it wouldn't. That movie.
There's definitely some examples where that's true.
Things like that wouldn't get made. See, it's weird because stuff like that doesn't fly, but also like there's like you've got like way more nudity and drug use in movies now. Like
it's just different.
Honestly, the violence content is way up. It's just like basically like they're just pissed off about a sore subject. They're like, "Oh, this is inappropriate," and it's like, "Yeah, but like it's a comedy movie."
Well, that's why I don't like looking back. And be like, "All these movies were like so much better," or like so much they weren't censored. It's like, no, it just shifted. It's just different now.
Different things were censored.
Yeah, it's like censorship's never like gone. It's just like what is censored is different. Because you go back even further to the 50s, and you couldn't say anything.
Yeah, well, we traded inappropriate jokes for like a way higher gore content and nudity. Like
That's true, especially in
it's like,
animation.
it's like, is that really better?
You seen like the animated content that's released today? I mean, it's, like the amount of gore in it is like insane compared to like what it would have been 30 years
Big
ago.
Mouth.
Or Big Mouth, yeah.
Big Mouth is like the cardinal sin of TV.
No, I hate when people be like, "Oh, that wouldn't fly today, bro. You seen Big Mouth?" I'm pretty sure
Big
Netflix
Mouth.
will let
Bro,
it fly.
Big Mouth wouldn't fly ever.
No, but I'm just saying, like it's the thing. You get a company like Netflix who doesn't care; they'll just throw anything on.
Yeah, they don't care. They're just doing it for money.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like I forgot what said it. Tarantino, and he said the '80s were like full of like a lot of censorship and entertainment. So he's like, when I make my movie, started with Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. He goes, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. It's gonna be crazy, and I'm not gonna let them censor me.
And that's good. I think censorship is not a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree.
Like, to be honest, in any capacity.
Censorship in art, I think, is always bad.
Yeah, like, you shouldn't be censoring it, period.
Yeah, but, I mean, someone with power is always going to be like, I don't like that thing, we're going to censor it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
But,
well, now you can get canceled. That's my favorite thing. People can just cancel things because they don't like it.
That's always been going on. It's just taken a different form because of the internet.
No, the internet has just made it much more powerful.
I wouldn't say powerful. It just makes it more obvious. Because I think it still happened. It just like, like how would you, if let's say someone got canceled somewhere, like else in like the country, like how would you know if you don't have the internet? Unless they're like the most high profile person ever. The internet makes it so much easier for people to become like aware of that stuff.
Yeah, you'd have to learn it on TV or in the newspaper, basically.
Yeah, I guess, and less people. I think overall, less people know about it versus on the internet. Someone gets canceled, it's a big deal. Even like even like say some YouTuber gets in a drama and they get canceled, like a lot of people are just gonna know about it because it goes viral and spreads.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's the thing about stuff being viral is like trends are so short lived now. Like if you just look at like basically like history of trends, they lasted for like years and years back in like the 80s and 90s and stuff. Then the internet came out and trends now last like 2 weeks, a week, 3 weeks. Like it doesn't matter. Like just short little spurts of this is cool and then it's not.
I think for every example of someone getting like canceled in drama, there's just as many people who got canceled at some point and then just came back and then everyone forgot.
Yeah. It's like the only I'm not even sure that I can think of people that got canceled like real bad. Like, not at least
with the exception of people that commit legitimate crimes.
Yeah, people that commit crimes is different, but like they tried to cancel James Gunn and it lasted like 2 weeks and then he came back.
Not even.
Yeah, not even 2 weeks.
He got fired from Disney and then they immediately were like a couple months later, they're like, maybe that was the bad decision. Then when he signed with DC, they're like, oh, maybe we messed up with that one.
And they did.
Yeah, but anyway, let's talk more about Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused. It's definitely one of the movies ever made.
Definitely.
I like the part when they drive around. That's definitely good. They do the child abuse in high school and they beat up on all the.
No, I think that was actually the funniest part of the movie where the seniors pull up to the high school and they got their like wooden like bats or like the paddles and they basically just yell at all the freshmen, "We're gonna beat all of you."
Yeah, they're just gonna fight them all.
Just for being freshmen, and then the teacher just starts laughing.
Then the girls get abused emotionally by the senior girls.
Okay, and to be fair, the girls get it way worse because they're like
humiliated.
Either humiliated, they all have to lie on the ground. They get like
covered in
ketchup and like mustard are thrown on them. Then they have to go over to the senior boys and be like, "Will you marry me?" It's so creepy.
It is creepy. It's weird.
Dude, the freshman girls had it way worse. The
Hands
guys
down.
just get beat up. It's like, yeah, you get beat up, but don't worry, in a couple of years
you get beat up
this.
and then you're cool, and then they hang out with you.
Yeah, basically, they're like, "Oh, you got beat up. That's cool. Here's some
That's
drugs.
cool. Come with us and take drugs
Come
with this 30-year-old Matthew McConaughey in the car."
That's the really actually I think that's the other really famous line where he goes, "Oh, you got any weed on you?" He goes, "Nah, man. You're a lot cooler if you did,
a lot cooler if you did." Matthew McConaughey, he has such a small part in that movie, but it's such a big impact. It's like he's so good.
I mean, he was like, I wouldn't say he was like a mega star when that movie came out, but he was like at least like prominent.
What year did the movie come out?
92, 93.
He was because A Time to Kill had come out, and that was a very prominent role for him.
It came out in 93.
Yeah, then A Time to Kill was 91, I think.
Well, that's why I said he was probably the biggest star in the movie, but he wasn't like the level of superstar he is today.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, because A Time to Kill, I think that was one of his first big movies.
No, you're wrong. Time to Kill is after.
Was it? I thought it was 91. Oh.
96.
I must be thinking of the wrong thing then.
Maybe this is the reason. Maybe Dazed and Confused is why he got that film. Potentially, I don't know.
I doubt. Have you seen it?
I have not.
I doubt that. I highly doubt that this role is what landed him his part as the lawyer in A Time to Kill. Are you familiar at all with the movie?
Nope.
It's very similar to Kill a Mockingbird. It's
interesting. That is a very big departure from
Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
It is a very and it is, I would say it is much darker than To Kill a Mockingbird too.
That's right. I forgot he was in The Wolf of Wall Street.
He sure was.
Yeah. Oh, and he's also in Sing. That
Matthew McConaughey. He's a honestly.
Honestly, I kind of want to know what talking animal did they make Matthew McConaughey play? Buster Moon. He plays Buster Moon. I don't know who that is.
My God, Buster Moon, is that the gorilla whose dad is in prison? But then he's like, I'm still standing.
Isn't that like Charlie Puth or something? I don't know. I haven't.
Wasn't Charlie Puth?
Isn't he the gorilla or something?
Charlie Puth dead?
No, what? That's not. No.
Who is it that I'm thinking
You're
of?
Thinking of. I don't know who you're thinking of, but you know what you're thinking, because Charlie Puth sings the song.
Oh, he sings the song about the dead guy.
He's like, Charlie Puth is not dead. He sings the song for what is his last name's Walker, but he's in the Fast and Furious.
Yeah, the Fast and Furious guy.
I can't believe you just asked if Charlie Puth is dead.
I don't know any of his music except for the one song he did with Wiz Khalifa, When I See You Again.
I know, but like he's not.
I thought that was his like death anthem or something. I don't know.
He's singing his own death anthem.
I thought so. I don't know. That would be kind of cool. That'd be pretty gangster.
No, it's.
Anyway, I'd like to get back to Dazed and Confused now. We kind of derailed there.
Yeah, this is.
Now I do love Matthew McConaughey's character, but I think the real shining star, at least my favorite character, is probably Mike.
Dude, Mike is awesome.
I gotta give it to Mike because he's like this weird like pussy nerd guy, and then for some reason he's like, "This is it. I'm gonna be a senior and I'm gonna be tough," and he like fails at every turn.
He just wanted an excuse to get drunk. That's all he wanted.
No, that's not what he did. He was like,
that's what happens.
No, he was like, I gotta buck up and be a real man, and then like he's literally clowned the whole movie because it's like, bro, just like it ain't working. This tough guy thing ain't working. And then he goes up to the Italian mob guy and dumps beer on him to fight him, and then he gets his ass beat.
That was so funny. He's like, I'm gonna go show him.
Yeah,
it's literally just pours.
It's so funny too because like he like makes a mean comment to the Italian guy, and the guy like gets all up in his face. He's like, what'd you say to me? And he pussies out. He's like, oh no, man, it was a misunderstanding. I'm sorry.
It's a misunderstanding,
then,
bro.
You know, it's like basically he let you slide, and then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go beat his ass. And it's like, dude, just let it go. Like he let you off the hook.
No, honestly, of the three of the nerd friend group characters, he's definitely the least weird.
He's
like the most like normal guy, even though he just wants to be like accepted.
He's not normal. He just like thinks he's this awesome guy, and he's not.
No, it's just because he doesn't like his social life and he wants like hang out and like be more social. But the other two are just weird.
That's true.
The other guy just like hits on a freshman the whole time. And it's like creepy.
That is weird. He's that
Super
senior
creepy.
spitting game on the freshman.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, apparently that's been a thing for like 40 years.
I'm pretty sure it's been a thing as long as high school has been a thing. But
and then the girl
it doesn't make it less.
Did you notice
creepy.
that like those two? It's like the girl hooks up with Matthew McConaughey, who's like twice her age.
Oh yeah, the nerd girl.
And then the guy hits on the freshman. That friend group's messed up, man.
It is messed up. And Mike's riding home in the car all bloody and beat up. He's got like blood coming out of his eyes because he got beat so badly. That was so funny.
Honestly, the main character who's Pink, he's like the football quarterback dude who doesn't want to play football. He just wants to do drugs.
No, he wants to play football, but he doesn't want to play by their rules.
That's true. He doesn't want to be told he can't play football and also can't do drugs. He wants to do both.
Yeah.
Even though I guess he's like I don't want to say he's the main character because it's not really.
He's the main character.
It's really more of an ensemble cast, but he's like the most, I guess, prominent. He's also the most boring character in the film. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, honestly, he's like the video game silent protagonist, where it's like he's the vessel for everybody because it's like, hey, he's in every friend group in the movie and he does everything. So just find something to relate to him on. There's warning, there is no growth. There is absolutely, and he's the only one that there was potential for too, for there to be growth. Where he's like, I'm gonna figure out how to play football and play by my own rules and not theirs, and then nothing comes of it.
All he does is he throws the paper back at his football coach, and he's like, I won't do it.
It's like, I'm not signing this, and it's like, all right. And that's the end of the movie. And then it plays "Don't You Forget About Me" on the football field.
No, actually, my favorite interaction of his in the movie is when he's talking to like the 80-year-old man. He's like, "We're counting on you, Sonny, to lead us to a football championship this year." And he's like, "Oh, yes, sir." Shakes his hand and goes off and immediately does drugs. Oh, no,
He's
sorry,
so
goes
funny.
off. He beats up the kid and then does drugs.
Oh, that's right. Well, they're drinking while they beat up the kid.
Drink, yeah, of course.
I like that. I like the amount of drunk driving in that movie. It's
literally-
really a comforting thought that throughout that whole movie, not only is the driver, but everybody in the car is drinking while they are driving constantly.
well, that's
Just
actually
getting beers out of the trunk and drinking.
that's my favorite thing about the movie is that if I was to sum it up in one sentence, it'd be like, yeah, they just drive around and do stuff.
Yeah, they drive
just
around.
drive
They
around.
drive around. They drink and do drugs, and that's the whole movie. And then there's a fight at the end.
I mean,
That's pretty much it. That's like the whole. That's the whole movie right there.
it's a fun movie to watch. It's a great like high school like, just like I in the description it calls it like a coming of age film. And I guess it's like one of the original ones to do that, but it also set like the standard. So then like every other like high school film like that copies aspects of it, and not as well.
I don't know. I think we'll have to do another episode on Fast Times at Ridgemont High because that one is like way more extreme.
I have not seen that.
That one, I would say that one has. It's more about high school. It's got more like real issues in it, which is kind of. It's a good movie.
When did that
You would
come
like
out?
it. I have no idea. It's about the 80s though.
Well,
It's
Fast
a
Times
good
at
one.
Ridgemont High came out in '82. That's like way before this film. It's 10 years before Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, Fast Times at Ridgemont High is fantastic. That's like that's one
Oh,
of the
dude, Nicolas Cage is in it.
Who does Nicolas Cage play?
He plays Brad's bud. His
Oh, okay,
buddy.
he's a side character.
Yeah. Actually, I noticed that a lot of these like really prominent actors will just be like side characters in like random films from like 40 years ago.
Yeah, because they're starting out.
That's true. Oh, well, before we move on from Dazed and Confused, we got to talk about the best character, Slater, the weed guy.
I do love the weed guy with the weed shirt on and the backwards hat.
The first scene, yeah, I mean they were not. This is not a subtle film. Every character's stereotype is very much.
It's a black
laid
and
out.
white movie.
Yeah, but he's got the weed shirt and the backwards hat. And the first scene you see him, and he's like totally like zoned out, and he's just in the hallway at like the is that the drinking fountain,
Yeah.
and he's just sitting there like, yeah, man, I gotta go to class.
He's like, we getting baked later, guys.
Baked.
And then he's like, all right. And he's all like, I'll see you later, man.
I'll see. Oh yeah, see you later, man. Does like a spin.
Yeah, he's like, and then he like walks away real slowly.
I love how he's like the one character that's accepted by every single person at the school.
Yeah, they all love him.
He's like
Slater,
the most
he's the
beloved
classic.
character.
He just hangs out with everybody in the whole movie.
Yeah, he just like, keeps bouncing around from car to car and is always just smoking and giving other people weed. That's all he does.
Yeah, Slater's a pretty cool character.
He's just like the drug dealer from the whole school.
Yeah.
And
He's
like,
not even the drug dealer. He just hangs out with everybody.
yeah, in the wood shop class where he just makes the bong.
Oh, he's building the bong while the teacher's asleep.
I understand it's supposed to be like a dramatized version of like high school, but it's just so funny that the teachers just like they don't even care.
I took shop classes in high school, and it's pretty close to that.
I mean, yeah, okay, maybe the shop class part was accurate,
I
but
was gonna say shop class. That wasn't too far
the
off.
Vietnam teacher, the kids are like, "Oh, can we leave early just so we don't get beat up?" And he goes, "You know what my drill sergeant told me in Vietnam? Of the 50 men coming here, the 50 men that arrived here, only 25 are making it home." And he goes, "I think that applies to you fellas."
Yeah, he really just talks about his experience in Vietnam to these 14-year-olds.
He's like, "Yeah, my experience in Vietnam is why I'm gonna let these seniors
Yeah.
beat you up."
Yeah, he's like, you guys are gonna get beat up because I watched a whole bunch of people die.
Oh, the main sister. It's like the worst character in the film because she goes up to the seniors, "Please don't beat up my little brother. He doesn't deserve it." And they're like, "Oh, we promise." And the moment she
leaves, he's a dead man.
We're gonna kill him. And then
Poor guy.
wouldn't you know it, they target him the whole film because of that.
No, they target him for the first half, and then he drives around with them.
Yeah. Then he smokes weed with them. They're like, "Ah, you cool now."
Like, yeah, you're welcome to the cool kids.
The movie is literally just peer pressure. The movie. It's like, yeah, come do drugs with us. We'll think you're cool.
Yeah, it's peer pressure. The movie. It's like the guidebook on how to be socially accepted,
How to be socially accepted. Just like,
and it's like have no spine.
yeah. It also makes it seem like everyone in high school
Get beat up and then cave to peer pressure immediately.
I also like how it's like, oh yeah, everyone in high school just goes to the woods and does drugs.
Well, okay, to be fair, there was more plot than that. There was supposed to be a party. I don't know how they all managed to link up at the woods. I feel like one of the scenes where they're
Matthew McConaughey's like, I'm throwing a party in the woods now.
the scene where they go to like the bowling alley or something. They're like telling people they're like, come here, the party's here instead.
That was well, because the the guy who has like the beer truck showed up to the house where the party was supposed to be, and the dad is like, but the parents hadn't left yet, and the dad's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And he's like, just dropping off beer." And he asks his son, "Like, you throwing a party?" He goes, "Of course not."
Of course
the dad,
not.
I love how the dad just turned to the wife, "We ain't going on vacation."
Yeah. Yep, unpack your bags. We're not
Unpack
going
your
anywhere.
bags. We're staying.
Honestly, though, like, there's no way you're that dumb. You're gonna really leave town the day that high school lets out for summer break, and you think your kid's not gonna have a party at your house?
Especially like
your kid who's friends with Slater. You really think he's not gonna
true.
throw a party in your empty house?
The weed kid shirt
Yeah,
walks in your house.
the kid with the weed shirt on. They're like, oh no, he's not gonna have a party.
But also, have you seen their kid? He's got like a really long hair. Wears his shirt like unbuttoned.
Oh yeah,
He's
where's
like-
the unbuttoned button down
And he's
shirt?
like super high.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah, your kid's like a stoner.
he's gonna have a party.
It's like, what do you think's gonna happen when you leave town?
Not just that, but he's popular.
Yeah, he's a popular stoner. It's like, what do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, they're leaving town the day school lets out.
Yeah, so what? That's pretty fun. Actually,
It is funny.
one more character we gotta talk about before we move on. That's Ben Affleck's character.
Ben
Who I don't
Affleck.
even know why he's in the film.
He plays the insane super senior, and it's
No,
hilarious.
okay, to be fair, he's the only other character that's like the same age as Matthew McConaughey, but he still goes to high school.
He's so funny.
And his only goal in life is to beat up.
Beat up freshmen.
Yeah, that's all he does.
That's his whole life. It's so funny.
Except he gets to do it every year because he just never
Does
leaves
it every
high
year
school.
because he never leaves high school. It's great.
Everyone else only gets 1 year to be the freshman. He's like, nah, I'm on my 5th year.
This is my 5th year. He's got notches in his bat.
That was the funniest scene with him is when they do like a drunk driving chase of the kids.
Oh, yeah, they drunk drive after
So,
the kids, and then he gets the
The
gun pulled
14-year-old
on him.
steals his dad's keys and starts driving
No,
the
his
car.
brother.
Oh, his brother.
He steals his brother's
steals
car.
his brother's car to get away from the seniors, and the seniors like, oh, let's just drunk drive after them.
Yeah, let's chase him down, and then they get to the house.
And the mom pulls out a shotgun. She's like, you can't beat up my kid on my front lawn. He's like, all right.
She really pulls a shotgun on the
Dude,
super senior.
I'm sorry, I was not ready for that when that happened.
Dude, that's the first time I saw that. That had to be the funniest scene in the
He
whole movie.
kicks down the door and is
Especially because he's the super senior, so it's like there's just this adult about to beat the shit out of your kid, so you pull a gun on him.
like, I was not ready for that. That was
Like
hilarious.
he's not even a high schooler. He's like 25.
Like, dude, the mom did not hesitate.
No, she just opened the door with the shotgun. She's like, get inside.
What a great film.
It is.
Literally
Honestly,
top tier. It's like, honestly,
it's weird how good it is for standing on such a shaky base, I guess. Like the whole premise of the movie is driving around, basically. Like they just
I
drive
guess
around.
what- I think the simplicity is what makes it kind of just like fun to watch. Because if it was like super complicated, it just wouldn't be that funny.
Yeah, it doesn't try to be something that it's not.
Like the film knows exactly what it is.
That's true. It was made with intent.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, oh, let's just make a random. Like the film, like it wanted to like make a high school film that you could also you could watch in high school and also watch after you're like when you're done with high school and look back and be like, oh man, I love doing drugs.
Yeah, boy, I love doing drugs and drunk driving and beating up young teenagers.
Like maybe it's not the most realistic film, but
Yeah,
it's
just
still
like
kinda...
every high schooler, you just drunk drive to their mother's house and then try to violently beat them on their front lawn.
They all go to the bar that apparently doesn't ID 14-year-olds.
Yeah, they let the 14-year-old in the bar. They just don't care. They're like, yeah, you're with Matthew McConaughey. He's like 30. You must be old enough.
Well, no, the I think because the drinking age is like 18 when the film takes place, but the 14-year-old goes to the gas station. He's like, oh, how old are you? 18? He goes, yeah. He goes, okay.
He
just believes him.
He's like, all right.
He's like, oh, you're
whatever, man."
graduating? He goes, yep.
He's like, yep, just graduated. And he's like, oh, all right. Yeah, you can buy the beer.
And the only reason it is like kind of believable is because the actor's like 18 to 20, but like he's supposed to be playing like a 14-year-old.
It's so weird, dude. It's so weird now, like, because when I was in high school and I first saw that movie, I didn't think about how old those actors were, and now I see them, I'm like, damn, they're older than I am. They're playing high schoolers.
Yeah, they started the trend of getting 30-year-olds to play high schoolers.
You're wrong. That would be Fast Times.
Okay.
Fast Times, the cast is noticeably older.
That's true. Yeah, it still happens today, like when, like in Spider-Man, where it's Tom Holland and his friends. But okay, Tom Holland looks young, but the other ones, you're like, you're not in high school. What are you doing?
Yeah, Zendaya.
Zendaya, Zendaya, my favorite.
It's
my
like hold
favorite
on. I
16-year-old.
remember seeing you in a TV show about high school when like 2010. Like, there's no way you're a high schooler.
Yeah, it's like good old 27-year-old Zendaya. Oh, you're 16 now? How'd that happen?
Yeah, oh, you're a 16-year-old. Yeah, you're 16-year-old junior in high school.
That's crazy.
They really do cast well though for those movies. They do. The stereotypes and stuff, they just like in Dazed and Confused, I wouldn't have picked any of those actors or anyone else over those actors.
Okay, no, the casting director of that film, excellent. I don't know what they did.
Give this man a raise.
Give that man a raise. He knew. I mean, like every character is casted perfectly.
They are, especially Slater.
Okay, I don't know where they found. They probably found him on the street or
That's
something.
probably just actually a stoner, and they're like, "Hey, you want to come get high in a movie?" And he's like, "Yeah." It's like, "All right, just kind of stand there and talk and make weird hand gestures." And he's like, "All right, man."
All right, man, I got
And that's
you.
all he does. That's all he does.
No,
the
like
whole movie.
the Pink, who's like the football, like the douchebag football player. Yeah, he looks like
the redhead guy is
oh,
the douchebag.
I forgot about him. But he's like the sports
he's
guy.
like super side character.
He is super side character, and literally
Then there's Overalls Man.
The only important interaction he has is when he tells the Pinker, he's like, "No, you can't quit football. I love sports. You can't quit football."
He's like, "I love sports. We're not going to be champions without you as our quarterback." And it's like, bro, chill.
And he's like,
it's like this is that one dude that tries in gym class.
Pink's just like, "Bro, I just want to do drugs. Come on, man."
He's like, "Yeah, come on, man." And the teacher's like, and the teacher really tells him, he's like, "I've seen that other crowd you're hanging around with, and I'm telling you right now, you need to get your priorities straight, boy." And it's like, bro, you're really teacher telling him who he can be friends with.
It's like, yeah, he's gonna respond real well to that.
Yeah, especially a kid in the 70s.
He's like,
those kids sure did love authority back then.
No, it's like, yeah, you're trying to be like my dad. Like, nah, that ain't gonna fly.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work, mister.
But you know,
so overall, what would you review? What would you rate?
we're gonna have to give it we have to give it the good drive around rating. You know, like just like driving around.
Yeah, driving around. What is it out of 10?
Drive around out of 10.
Drive around out of 10. I would agree with that. I would give it a higher rating though. I'd give it a drunk driving out of 10.
drunk driving after a freshman to beat
drunk
them
driving out of 10. And then they
10.
let the freshman get drunk, and then he drunk drives too. I think.
I don't want to give this movie a rating. I feel like that
I feel like it can't be rated. I feel like I agree.
It's an experience to watch it.
Watch it. If you haven't seen the movie, watch it. We should have opened on that probably.
It's a very enjoyable experience, and it makes you just reflect on life, but like in a fun way.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's
not,
definitely
again,
enjoyable. Well, that's the nice thing is there's no it doesn't try to be anything that it's not. There's no real heavy topics. The most impactful scene in the movie is the fight basically. Like that's the big climax is the nerd gets beat up because he tries to pick a fight.
I think it does a really good job of depicting this like euphoric version of American high school life.
And all the characters are like 2D, so that they're not like hard to understand what they are.
Yeah, but it doesn't like force anything down your throat. It's just like watch the movie and chill.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. It's
great
a good
fun.
movie.
All right, Tales of the Jedi.
We're 27 minutes in.
Oh, we're 27 minutes in. You know what? We'll do a one sentence review then.
Right, let's just save it for another episode.
That's true. One sentence review. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty. I give it pretty good out of 10. I like Count Dooku. Pretty good.
He's a pretty cool character.
He's pretty cool. I'll give it a.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's the end of that review. But
yeah, welcome to the end of the episode, guys.
To the end. So
we made it. You made it through this. This is a quick episode.
It's quick. It's our first episode with a live audience.
This might be our first episode that makes it under 30 minutes, but we're at 28:10, so we're gonna have to wrap quick.
We better wrap right this second.
We're racing against the clock now.
So my sister decided to join us for this episode. She's our live audience. What'd you think? Live reaction. All right, that's great.
That didn't pick up at all.
All right, she said it was great, and I'm not lying. That was an actual thing.
He's not. I can concur. He's not lying.
Right, I'll make her say it again. Say it again.
It was great.
There we go, folks. Live reaction, live review, and if that doesn't deserve a like, if that doesn't deserve a like, 5 stars on Spotify and Apple, I don't know what does.
Rate us highly on everything. Leave hate comments. Don't forget.
Don't forget to leave that hate comment.
Well, now that we've had a guest, does she get the final word?
Yeah, we should. We should keep up with tradition.
Here you go. You get one more word.
Yep.
You get one word at the very end.
One word only.
Here you go.
So
Are you
think
ready?
Carefully. This is really important.
This is the most important part of the episode.
Right. Start it. I can give you like 5 seconds to think about this.
We're at 29. We're counting down fast.
All right. You better think about it. It's important. All right.
One word. Here you go.
Good night.